In the beginning of the drama, we see a small boy walking around in the park. Just then, he sees a little girl playing with mud, so he goes near her. But that girl removes dirt from her nose and throws it, and it goes straight inside the boy. He screams loudly and stands up. And this boy is our main lead, Jang. He likes to stay extremely clean. He totally hates any kind of dirt. His cleaning habits irritate normal people like us, but Jang is helpless because of his strict routine. On the other hand, we see our female lead, Oh-Sol, who is the complete opposite of Jang. For Oh-Sol, staying clean is very difficult. She is super lazy. She loves eating and sleeping all the time. No matter where she is, she can sleep comfortably. One day, Jang sees her sleeping like that on the bus and gets scared, thinking, how can a girl be this dirty? So he quickly changes his way and goes to the other side. After that, he reaches his office, which he built himself. Even his company is related to cleaning. Today, Jang is giving a speech for his company, and Oh-Sol is also watching it. After finishing all his work, he comes for a blind date arranged by his mom. First, he cleans the whole table properly. Then, he lays his own handkerchief and sits. People around him get shocked seeing his behavior. After some time, his blind date arrives. Jang gets impressed seeing her, but the moment he notices dirt inside her ear, he runs away without saying anything. At night, his mom talks to him about this, but he keeps ignoring her completely. When he sees the door open, he gets angry and says, how many times have I told you? Close the door properly before entering. You don't know how many bacteria can come inside. Just then, he notices that his favorite cleaning machine is missing from the house, so he immediately goes out to search for it. Meanwhile, Oh-Sol has failed another interview. She is worried about how she will tell Dojan about it. She has liked Dojan since school days, but she never confessed her feelings. While walking, she sees Jang's machine and puts it inside her bag, saying, I don't know who is so rich that they threw a new machine into the trash. By that time, Jang also reaches there. He tries to ask Oh-Sol about the machine, but seeing her messy condition, he gets scared and runs away. Oh-Sol ignores him and returns home. But as soon as she enters, she sees Choi coming out of the washroom with only a towel. She gets scared and starts chasing him, asking who he is and why he is here like this. Choi, the second lead of the drama, tries to explain, but Oh-Sol doesn't listen and keeps running after him. Suddenly, her dad comes between them to protect Choi and gets injured. Later, it is revealed that Choi has come to live in their house as a tenant. Then Dad sees the machine in Jang Soon's bag and asks if he stole it. Oh-Sol says, Dad, do I look like a thief to you? Dad charges the machine. Meanwhile, Jang checks all the CCTV footage in the area. He finally sees Oh-Sol's face on the camera. Later, he gets posters made all over the city through his employees, and Oh-Sol's younger brother sees it. After noticing the prize money, he becomes very excited. Meanwhile, Oh-Sol goes to her part-time job. Her friend comes and asks her about the interview. Oh-Sol tells her she failed. Her friend tries to explain that she needs to look a little better, wash her hair daily, wear fashionable clothes, then someone will give her a job. But for Oh-Sol, all this is very boring. Just then, she gets the news that her dad is hospitalized. She comes to meet him. Dad asks her to go do his job for today. Her dad works as a cleaner. Oh-Sol does not want to go, but because of her dad, she agrees. Meanwhile, Jang is still trying to find his machine. Just then, Oh-Sol's brother calls him and asks him to come and take the machine. Jang immediately leaves for the address. On the other hand, Oh-Sol is doing her cleaning job when she sees Dojan coming from the front. She quickly hides her face behind a horse mask, but accidentally, her helmet falls down. Dojan sees it and goes behind her. Oh-Sol starts running, and everyone else also starts running after her. In that moment, Oh-Sol crashes into Jang's car and all the garbage falls on his car. Jang gets out angrily and scolds her. Oh-Sol apologizes and tries to leave, but Jang says, do you think you can make a mistake and just walk away? He removes her mask. Dojan sees her and recognizes her. Oh-Sol becomes extremely embarrassed and quickly says sorry to Jang and leaves. People around start recording videos. Her brother arrives and tells everyone to stop recording. Jang also feels a little bad for her. At night, Jang's secretary comes to talk about buying a new machine, but Jang refuses strictly and asks her to leave. Then we see a flashback. We understand why this machine is so special to Jang. It was given to him by his grandmother. After his mom left him, his grandma raised him like her own child. Before leaving, she gifted Jang this machine so he wouldn't feel lonely. Remembering all this, Jang becomes sad, but then he recognizes the person who stole the machine. It was the same girl from yesterday. Next day, Jang goes to meet Oh-Sol. When he sees her, she looks extremely dirty to him, and when he notices food fallen on her clothes, he starts spraying sanitizer on her. Jang gives her the car repair bill. Oh-Sol gets shocked after seeing it. 350,000 won. She asks for a discount, but he refuses and instead asks about the machine. Oh-Sol sees the poster and recognizes everything. but Jang refuses to give her the prize money of 1,00,000 and even shows her the message from her brother saying, "You both were trying to fool me, right?" Seeing this, Oh-Sol goes home and scolds her brother properly. Just then, her friend calls and reminds her about the party. Oh-Sol gets ready nicely and goes to the party. All her friends talk about that viral video. She tries to cover it up by telling everyone to drink and enjoy. Later, she sits outside alone. Dojan comes and talks to her. He encourages her, saying, "You helped your dad today. You are really a good person." Hearing this, Oh-Sol becomes super happy, almost crazy excited. That night, she messages Dojan, "Thank you," and congratulates him for his new job. On top of that, Dojan says he will come to her workplace tomorrow, and they will have lunch together. Hearing this, Oh-Sol starts jumping on her bed. Next day, she goes to buy a gift for Dojan. She asks her friend Minju, "But why should I give underwear as a gift?" Minju says, "If he asked you for lunch, it means he is indirectly asking you for a date, so you also have to say yes indirectly." Hearing this, Oh-Sol gets happy, but suddenly she remembers she has to return Jang's money. Even worse, she keeps seeing Jang everywhere, and the price of the underwear is equal to her entire month's salary. Still, she buys it for Dojan. After that, she goes to meet him. Dojan says, "Sorry, I'm a little late. The model hasn't arrived yet and the show is about to start. Can you help me?" Oh-Sol cannot say no, so she sits with the other models. Meanwhile, Jang is watching this event on TV. Seeing her eat messily, he wonders, how can... Next day, Oh-Sol calls Jang and says, "Yesterday I had something important, so I couldn't meet you. Today I will surely give your machine back." She again asks for a discount. Jang cuts the call. Just then, Dojan calls and asks her to come again. But when Oh-Sol reaches his office, a girl drags her inside, forcing her to become a model again. Oh-Sol says, "There must be some misunderstanding. I'm not a model," but the girl doesn't listen. Later, when Dojan arrives, he scolds her, saying, "Don't create problems at my workplace. Since you're already wearing the clothes, go and stand in the show." Hearing this, Oh-Sol says, "So you called me here to be a free model?" Dojan says, "I thought it would be a better part-time job than your cleaning work." Oh-Sol replies emotionally, "You knew I liked you for the last 3 years, but you pretended not to know. After the embarrassment that day, many people saw me, so you thought you should also take advantage. That's why you made this whole plan, to use me as a model. I'm ashamed that I ever liked you. Don't come in front of me again." She turns to leave and stops when she sees Jang standing there. He says, "I was just passing by," but she ignores him completely and walks away. Inside, she cries a lot. After changing her clothes, she goes to Jang, gives him the machine, and tries to leave. Jang feels bad for her, so for the next 2 days, he takes revenge from Dojan in a very clean and classy way. That night, Oh-Sol drinks a lot with her friend Minju. When she reaches home, she sees her dad sleeping. While covering him with a blanket, she notices his pants are torn. She goes to her room and blames herself. "I bought such an expensive underwear for that useless guy. With that money, we could have bought groceries for a whole month." Suddenly, she remembers. The gift box was inside the machine bag. Meanwhile, when Jang opens the machine bag, he sees the pink underwear inside. He throws it away, saying, "This girl is seriously crazy." That night, Oh-Sol dreams that she is running. She used to be a sports champion in childhood, but suddenly she falls, and Jang appears in front of her, throwing the pink underwear on her face. He says, "What did you write in the letter? It's our first date, right?" Oh-Sol screams and falls off the bed. Sometime later, she comes outside and sees her brother wearing that underwear. She starts beating him, asking, "Do you even know how expensive this is?" Her dad also sees it in her hand. Then both father and son chase her. Their fighting and chaos make Choi smile. He says, "You guys really love each other." In the next scene, Oh-Sol goes to meet Jang. She starts practicing how she will talk about the gift box. Suddenly, Jang arrives, throws the box at her, and says, "Now I understand why boys dump you. And by the way, your taste is horrible." Oh-Sol says, touching other people's stuff without permission isn't something good people do. But when she opens the box herself, she gets shocked because she already saw the same thing in her dream. Jang doesn't argue and simply tells her to return his money quickly. If she delays, he will file a case. Just then, Oh-Sol receives an email for an interview. She gets super excited and almost flies with happiness. Then she runs outside and tells Jang confidently that she will return the money soon. She dances happily as she leaves. At night, everyone celebrates her happiness, which motivates her even more. Choi also joins them and drinks with everyone. Next day, Oh-Sol goes for the interview. But there, everyone is more talented than her. She still goes inside calmly and gives her interview. Everything goes fine, but when they ask her to speak something in English, she freezes. She doesn't know English, so she cannot speak. Because of this, she fails the interview. She becomes sad. Her friend Minju tells her to try finding another job again. After that, Oh-sol starts working harder. She stays awake all night studying, but she still cannot find any job anywhere. In the next scene, her brother's friend Song-min calls him and tells him to come quickly. Actually, Song-min used to like Oh-sol, but Oh-sol liked Dojan, so she never paid attention to Song-min. And now when Song-min sees Oh-sol crying, both he and his friend rush to beat Dojan. After that, while attacking him, they accidentally injure Dojan's friend Jaemin instead. Oh-sol tries to stop all four of them, but no one listens. Later, we see all four of them sitting inside the police station. When Jang-sun finds out about this, he immediately comes to get them released. But while leaving with them, he suddenly notices Oh-sol standing there and gets slightly confused about what she's doing here. Later, he tells the secretary to fire both boys from their job. But the secretary explains, since the day you started this company, these three have worked with you. Firing them for one small mistake is not right. Jang-sun stays quiet and doesn't say anything further. Meanwhile, Oh-sol scolds both boys outside and he tells, please don't tell dad about this. It won't happen again. Oh-sol also agrees to keep it quiet. After that, the next day, Jang-sun comes with his mom to his grandpa's birthday dinner. From his expression, it's very clear that he doesn't like spending time with his family. Even at the dinner table, he and grandpa start arguing over something. Mom tries to calm them down, but grandpa angrily throws a fork, and it slightly injures Jang-sun. When mom comes toward him, Jang-sun walks away without saying anything. Later at home, he remembers his childhood. And here we finally understand how he developed this cleanliness disorder. When he was young, grandpa used to scold him a lot for being messy. He didn't even allow Jang-sun to play outside with other kids. The nanny was the only one who used to carry him around lovingly. But whenever Jang-sun asked, when will mom come back? Grandpa always avoided the question. Actually, no one knows who Jang-sun's father is, and his mother had left him with grandpa so she could enjoy her own life abroad. She has only recently returned to Korea. That's why Jang-sun hates her. Meanwhile, because Oh-sol failed the interview again, she gets sad and goes drinking. At the same shop, Jang-sun also comes to buy something. He sees her drunk state but doesn't say anything and turns to leave. But Oh-sol stops him and starts sharing her sad life story. And while standing up, she almost falls. Jang-sun quickly comes forward and asks, "Are you okay?" Then she notices the injury on his face and asks softly, "Did you get hurt? Does it pain?" Hearing this, Jang-sun gets emotional and leaves quietly. After that, he sees her walking barefoot outside. So he quickly brings slippers from his car and gently places them in front of her. She thanks him and walks away. Later, when Choi sees her sitting there, he carries her home on his back and encourages her. But she was already asleep. The next day, she sees the slippers and asks Choi about them, but he denies giving them. That's when she realizes, these belong to that grumpy Jang-sun. Meanwhile, the secretary comes to Jang-sun again, and Jang-sun finally agrees not to fire the boys. The secretary gets very happy and proudly says, "I did it." Oh-sol, on the other hand, starts doing multiple part-time jobs. A few days pass like this, but still, they don't have the money to pay Jang-sun back. So she goes to her dad's workplace to ask him for money. But her dad had been fired. He was silently protesting outside and Oh-sol had no idea. Without meeting him, she returns home and decides to find another job. The only option left was Clean Ferry Company, which she didn't know was Jang-sun's company. The next day, she goes for the interview and they all have to take a physical test. Song-min is also there for the interview. Both get embarrassed seeing each other. But Oh-sol performs really well and wins all the games. After that, Song-min requests her to keep everything a secret, and she agrees. Just then, the secretary calls everyone outside. Mr. Jang-sun has arrived. As soon as Oh-sol steps out, both she and Jang-sun get shocked seeing each other there. Later, while Jang-sun explains the job rules, he keeps indirectly pointing at Oh-sol. She gets annoyed, and after that she goes drinking with Minju. Meanwhile, Jang-sun discusses all her bad habits with the secretary. It feels like their fight is about to start any moment. The next day, while finishing her cleaning work, Oh-sol sees some employees and imagines herself working in their place. Suddenly, a girl comes deliberately and spills coffee on the floor, telling Oh-sol to clean it. Oh-sol quietly starts cleaning. Then the girl orders her to clean her heels too. Oh-sol refuses, so she calls the manager. The manager scolds Oh-sol harshly. Oh-sol apologizes and stays quiet. After the manager leaves, the girl taunts, "A cleaner arguing with me?" and walks away. But Jang-sun arrives and tells her, "This area is not under us. You should clean your own mess." Then he looks at Oh-sol and says, "We do cleaning work. We are not anyone's servants. Next time someone insults you, teach them a good lesson." After he leaves, Oh-sol also tells the girl to clean the area and walks away. At night, Oh-sol finishes work and sits down tired. Her whole body aches. Choi comes and asks, "What are you doing here?" She says, "Please don't tell my dad about this." While talking, Choi jokingly says, "Someone is going to enter your love life soon." He points north, and when she looks, he was pointing at himself. Oh, Sol laughs it off. The next morning, she gets late for work and runs without taking a bath. The bus had already left, so she sees Jang Sun leaving and asks for a lift. But Jang Sun gets shocked, seeing her messy hair and food stuck on her mouth. He avoids her and leaves immediately. After that, he even cleans the spot she touched. While working, Sol gets a message from Dojan, but she knows he broke up yesterday, so she blocks him. At night, Jang Sun arranges a welcome party for the new employees. Sol gets super excited seeing the fancy restaurant. After some time, Yang Sun enters with the secretary, but he tells Sol to sit far away from him. Throughout the dinner, he keeps observing her weird behavior. Sol drinks a lot and becomes completely drunk. She sits outside alone. Jang Sun is about to leave her there, but two boys start harassing her. So he has no choice, then he take her to his car and drop her home. But when Sol starts to vomit, even Jang Sun feels uncomfortable. Somehow he still manages to take her home safely. Just then, Dojan arrives and tries to take Sol away. Meanwhile, Sol refuses to go with Dojan, so she starts scolding him badly. At the same time, Jang Sun grabs Sol's other arm and stops her, saying, "She's not going with you." Dojan angrily asks, "And who are you?" Jang Sun replies calmly, "I'm her boss." After that, both of them start pulling Sol from opposite sides. Just then, her brother Odal and Choi come out and see the situation, so they rush toward them. Jang Sun looks at Odal and asks, "You're her brother, right?" Odal nods. Jang Sun tells her to go home with her brother. Then he walks away. But Sol quickly runs after him, slips a small packet into his pocket, says thank you, and leaves. At first, Jang Sun doesn't understand anything, but the moment he checks the packet, he screams out loud in shock. The next morning, Sol is having breakfast with everyone. Odal and Choi ask her what happened last night. Suddenly, all her memories flash back. She gets embarrassed and panics. After that, she rushes to the office and goes straight to Jang Sun's cabin to say sorry to him. Meanwhile, Jang Sun is inside, arguing with his mom. He's furious at her for abandoning him when he was young. When Yang Sun comes out of the room, he sees Sol waiting. He feels awkward. But Sol pretends she knows nothing and simply says she came to apologize for last night. Jang Sun ignores her and walks away. Later, Dojan calls and asks her to meet him. Then Sol goes and clearly says, "I used to like you before, but not anymore. Don't contact me again." Dojan gets upset and asks, "Did you get a new boyfriend? Is that why you're rejecting me?" Sol lies and says, "Yes, my boss." Since Dojan saw Jang Sun dropping her home last night, he believes it. At night, Sol and Jang Sun bump into each other accidentally. Sol assures him, "I didn't hear anything, and your mom really loves you." But Jang Sun gets irritated and says bad things to her before walking away. Next day, Dojan finds out Sol works at a cleaning company. He starts mocking her, saying, "So how did you and your boyfriend meet? While cleaning the floors together? Who would date a girl like you? Useless girl." Sol says, "You don't trust my words? Fine. I'll prove it to you." Just then, Jang Sun is walking toward them to call her. Sol runs straight to him, apologizes, and before Jang Sun can say anything, she suddenly grabs him and kisses him. Dojan watches everything and walks away silently. Jang Sun is completely shocked and faints right there. In the next scene, Jang Sun wakes up in the hospital. The secretary arrives and asks, "Sir, what happened to you? Why did you faint?" Thinking about the kiss, Jang Sun runs into the washroom and starts vomiting. Even the doctor comes to check on him, but Jang Sun refuses and tells the secretary to get him discharged immediately. Later, Sol comes to the hospital to thank him for helping her last night, but Yang Sun is already angry, so he scolds her and tells her to leave. Feeling hurt, Sol goes drinking with Minju and shares her whole sad story. Even Minju gets shocked. "You kissed your boss? Wow, you're really brave." Meanwhile, Jang Sun gets ready for the office, but everywhere he looks, he imagines Sol's face. It's driving him crazy. When he reaches the office, Sol is coming from the other side. Both feel awkward, but Jang soon runs away after seeing food stuck around her mouth. After that, all 4 workers are doing their cleaning duty. Seeing water buckets, they start throwing water at each other and having fun. Jang Sun watches them from upstairs. Seeing their laughter, even his face softens and he smiles a little. But when the secretary comes, he pretends to be strict and walks down to scold them for wasting water. Right then, Sol accidentally splashes water on Jang Sun and soaks him completely. Everyone gets shocked. Jang Sun gets angry and walks away. Later, the secretary explains, "She didn't do it on purpose. You scolded her too much." Feeling guilty, Jang Sun sends everyone home early and goes outside alone. Wondering, did I scold her too harshly? He sees Sol cleaning her eyes and thinks she might be crying because of him. After she leaves, he secretly comes closer to check, but she suddenly appears behind him and asks, "What are you looking at?" Jang's son awkwardly asks about the tissue she was using. She explains, "This helps clean the darkness under the eyes." Hearing this, Jang soon steps away, but because of the wind, one tissue flies and sticks to his forehead. When he tries removing it, he screams again. After that, he keeps cleaning his face repeatedly, and for some reason, he keeps thinking about Oh Soul. Next day, seeing Jang Sun's condition getting worse, the secretary gives him the number of his previous doctor student and says, "He's in Korea now. Since your doctor abroad passed away, I thought maybe you can talk to his student." Jang Sun says, "Don't treat me like a patient." The secretary says gently, "I'm not. I'm just trying to help." Meanwhile, an old doctor comes to meet Choi. Seeing them hug each other, Oh Sol gets confused. What kind of suspicious man is Choi? She even tries to secretly listen to their conversation but can't. Inside, we find out Choi is not the useless guy he pretends to be. He's actually a psychiatrist. He just acts silly and carefree in front of everyone. When the old doctor comes outside, Oh Sol asks him about Choi. He lies to her and says that Choi is actually his patient. Hearing this, she starts feeling bad for him. So when Choi comes out, Oh Sol talks to him with a big smile. Even Choi gets surprised seeing her behavior. At night, while leaving the office, Jang Sun sees a couple kissing. And suddenly he starts remembering his own kiss with Oh Sol again and again. He holds his head and says, "I'm really sick. I must talk to a doctor." Next morning, Oh Sol wears glasses and a mask and starts cleaning the whole house. Choi asks his dad what's happening. His dad tells him that today is her mom's death anniversary. She cleans everything because she wants to tell her mom, "We are fine." And on this day, she always gets ready nicely. Later, when she comes to the office, all three of them get shocked. They say, "Makeup has changed you completely? We didn't know you looked this pretty after makeup." Just then, Jang Sun also arrives and keeps staring at her. Without wanting to, he asks, "Are you going on a blind date after work today?" Oh Sol doesn't understand at first. When she asks again, he avoids the topic and walks away, telling her to focus on work. After that, all four of them go to clean a guy's house. The guy was a huge toy collector. His entire house was full of robotic toys. He tells them to work properly and goes to arrange his toys. But one toy falls and breaks, without him knowing. Oh Sol comes out and accidentally steps on that toy. She slips and falls badly, hurting her leg. When the guy sees this, he gets angry at her. Sung tries to confront him, but Yamin stops him. Hyun apologizes to the customer, but the guy insults all of them. Later, when Jang Sun finds out, he tells them to fire the job. But Oh Sol takes the entire blame on herself. Then he tells everyone to leave. After everyone leaves, he scolds her and says, "So that's why you got ready like this today? Which guy you're trying to impress under the name of work? I've never seen a girl like you. Get out of my sight!" Hearing all this breaks Oh Sol's heart. Still, she quietly apologizes and walks away. Jang Sun didn't want to talk like that, but to hide his own feelings, he had no choice. He doesn't even realize yet that he has started liking her. After that, Oh Sol goes to meet her mom and cries a lot. There, she notices a yogurt bottle placed beside her mom's flowers. Seeing that, she quickly runs outside to find the person who left it. But she doesn't find anyone, and then suddenly we see Choi hiding and watching her. How does Choi even know about her mom? We will learn this later. Later at night, Oh Sol sits eating yogurt when Choi arrives. She compliments him for how good he looked in court. Both of them sit together and talk. In between, she says, "I don't know who, but for the past 6 years, every year someone leaves this yogurt for my mom's death anniversary. I was really sad today, but seeing this made all my sadness disappear." They walk toward home talking softly. But right then, Jang Sun comes to meet her. There is a small conversation between Choi and Jang Sun. Jang Sun even calls Choi cheap. Hearing that annoys Choi, but Oh Sol somehow handles the situation and sends him away. Then she sits to talk with Jang Sun. She tells him it was her mom's death anniversary today. That's why she dressed nicely. Jang Sun says, "You should have told me earlier. And that customer pushed you. You didn't tell me that either. If you had told me, I would have taught him a lesson. Anyway, sorry for this morning. Come to work from tomorrow." Before she can reply, Jang Sun leaves, but secretly he turns back and smiles while looking at her. Next morning, Jang Sun buys the same toy and gives it to that toy collector guy, but he doesn't let him go easily. He watches the CCTV footage from the guy's house and questions him. The guy finally kneels down and accepts. "The toy broke because of me." Jang Sun says, "Then go and apologize to my employee." The guy comes and kneels in front of Oh Sol, apologizing. Jang Sun smiles, satisfied. In the next scene, Oh-Sol is climbing a ladder to work. Jang Soon and the secretary arrive and warn her to work carefully. Oh-Sol nods and moves her foot, but the ladder shakes and she almost falls. And Jang Sun rushes forward and catches her in his arms. Everyone gets shocked. Even Jang Soon is stunned and remembers the doctor's words. We know that doctor was none other than Dr. Choi. He had told Jang Soon, when you don't want to hurt someone, and when you want to keep someone safe all the time, this disease can be cured. In simple words, this is called love. Jang Sun takes her down and asks, "Are you okay?" Nods and thanks him. But Jang Sun's bad luck strikes again. A cloth from upstairs falls straight on his face, and he faints. Again! Next scene, all four of them sit discussing the incident. From their talk, Oh-Sol learns that Jang Soon has misophobia. That's why he is extremely obsessed with cleanliness. Meanwhile, after Jang Sun wakes up at the hospital, he asks his mom to leave. She tries to care for him, but he scolds her and sends her out. Outside, the secretary tells his mom about the incident. She gets shocked. My son actually touched a cleaning girl? Next morning, Mom calls Oh-Sol to a cafe. She says, "I just wanted to see what kind of girl my son held today." Jang Soon is heading to the office from the hospital. His hand is fractured because he held Oh-Sol yesterday. Seeing his mom's assistant, he immediately understands she went to meet Oh-Sol. He rushes upstairs and snaps, "What are you talking to my employee about?" His mom tries to explain, but he sends Oh-Sol away and leaves without hearing anything. Before leaving, his mom tells Oh-Sol, never date a guy like him in the future. Jang Soon arrives. Oh-Sol sees the bandage on his hand. She asks, "It happened because of me, right? If you need help with anything, tell me." Jang Sun says, "Don't misunderstand. I don't like you. And I need to test something. Give me your hand." Before Oh-Sol can, the bus arrives. She leaves. Office scene. The secretary praises Oh-Sol's work a lot. Jang Sun thinks deeply, recalling the doctor's words again. He calls Choi and asks this time about hair. Choi says, "You've never touched anyone without gloves. Accept yourself." This is the first time. Jang Sun asks, "Don't tell me I'm in love with her?" Choi replies, "Let's do a simple test. Try touching other people's things." Jang Sun tries the test but can't. He hears voices, grabs an old cup, hides it. Jamin sees him. Jang Sun makes an excuse. "I just came to check if you all are working properly or not." He walks away. Everyone's tired of his weird behavior. Choi's side. He meets a female patient who refuses treatment. He calmly explains, and she says, "That area wasn't ruined because of you. You found every victim and stood by them." She asks, "Did you find that last student?" She must be grown up now. Choi smiles. "Yes, more strong and more wonderful than I ever imagined." Later, Choi and Oh-Sol sit and talk. Oh-Sol says she works in a cleaning company and asks him to keep it secret. Choi shares his secret. "I like a girl and want to protect her my entire life, but I don't say her name." He looks at the yogurt bottle, remembering 6 years ago when he was a part-time student. Oh-Sol's family home and many others were being demolished for redevelopment, her parents protesting with the others. Little Oh-Sol had come to him, encouraged him, and handed him that same yogurt bottle before running back to her mother. That day, Choi fell in love with Oh-Sol, and today he's here again for her. On the other side, Jang Sun is extremely stressed about Oh-Sol. A love-related show is playing on TV. He tries to ignore it, but suddenly he imagines Oh-Sol on the screen saying, "Congratulations, you are in love." Jang Sun gets shocked. He can't sleep the whole night. Next day, he behaves weirdly again. When Oh-Sol calls him from behind, he thinks it's a hallucination and sprays disinfectant all over her. Later, the secretary scolds him. "Whatever happened, you did wrong. You must apologize." She drags him to Oh-Sol. Before he can say anything, Oh-Sol says, "I know he didn't do it intentionally. Actually, I like him a lot." Jang Sun hears this from behind and becomes super happy. Even at home, his heartbeat doesn't calm down. He keeps replaying her words. Then Oh-Sol appears at his door. She brings soup for him. Jang Sun takes it politely, invites her in, makes coffee for her. Both sit down and talk. Oh-Sol says, "I know. Keeping yourself clean, keeping your home and office clean, it must be really hard for you." Jang Sun shakes his head. "No, it's not like that. It's just my habit." Oh-Sol softly adds, "I think there must be some personal reason behind it." Her words touch his heart. When Oh-Sol goes to wash the cups, Jang Sun rushes and stops her. "The water isn't coming." He had kept her cup aside. He whispers to himself, "You've gone totally crazy." Meanwhile, Choi receives Jang Soon's medical files from the American hospital where Jang Soon used to get treated. Jang Sun eats the soup Oh-Sol brought and loves the taste. On the other side, Oh-Sol goes to a lonely apartment. The man looks rough and dangerous but tells her to clean and goes out. His entire house is a mess. It's raining heavily outside. Jang Sun arrives at the office. The secretary tells him where all employees are working today. Hearing Oh-sol went to that apartment, he rushes to find her. He calls nonstop. She doesn't pick up. He rips off the bandage from his hand, drives like crazy, reaches the man's apartment, storms inside, confronts the guy. Right then, Oh-sol arrives from behind and calls his name. Jang Sun stops. The man asks, "Who are you? Why are you waiting in my house?" Jang Sun apologizes and takes Oh-sol away. In the car, silence. Oh-sol notices his injured hand, asks him to stop. She gets out, buys medicine, returns, gently applies it on his hand. Jang Sun gets emotional. He asks her to give him her hand. She stretches it forward. He holds it, doesn't let go for a long time. When Oh-sol tries to pull her hand back, Jang Sun suddenly kisses her. And Oh-sol doesn't stop him. From far away, Choi sees them. He gets upset but returns home and reads the patient file. There he learns that the patient was Jang Sun at home. Oh-sol thinks, why did Jang Sun suddenly kiss me? Even her dad and brother Odal get shocked, wondering why she showered so early. They keep staring, thinking, she's definitely dating someone. That's why so much makeup these days. Choi hears all this too, and his face shows he's not happy. Choi's side. He clashes his fists, glancing at the file again, heart heavy. He remembers the yogurt bottle, the promise he made to himself 6 years ago. Ing-sun, still on cloud 9, his hand still tingling from the kiss. He can't stop replaying the moment, the taste of the soup, the softness of her hand. A soul, confused, a mix of guilt, surprise, and something warm blooming inside. She looks at her reflection, makeup flawless, heart beating fast. Family. Dad mutters, what's going on with her? Odal shrugs. Maybe she finally found someone. Choi takes a deep breath, puts the file down, and whispers to himself, I have to protect her, even if it means stepping back. The tension hangs thick, love and sacrifice intertwining, setting the stage for the next storm. Next day, the news spreads in the office. Yesterday, the CEO had beaten a customer by entering his house. Oh-sol was feeling really happy after hearing the gossip that she was that girl. After that, when she comes outside, Jaemin suddenly arrives and starts flirting with her. Meanwhile, seeing this, Young gets extremely angry. We can say he starts feeling jealous. Then, Oh-sol almost trips after bumping into something, but Jaemin quickly holds her. Watching this, Young cannot control himself and comes there, scolding her in the name of work and walking away. After that, Oh-sol asks to meet Young, but he refuses by saying he is busy. He had actually come to meet his grandpa because he was hospitalized, but his grandpa doesn't even speak to him properly and tells him to leave. Outside, he runs into his mom. His mom tries to introduce him to her new boyfriend, but Young says hurtful things and walks away, telling her that because of her, he can't trust dating or marriage anymore. He angrily walks out and suddenly sees Oh-sol. He doesn't want to talk about yesterday's kiss, but Oh-sol wants to clear things. In the next scene, both are sitting together and talking. Oh-sol thought he was about to ask her out on a date, but Young directly rejects her because of his mom, and also says that because of yesterday's kiss, she shouldn't misunderstand that he likes her or wants to ask her out. He also apologizes for yesterday, then gets up and leaves. Both were sad because they couldn't share their real feelings with each other. After that, Oh-sol sits alone and drinks. Then Choi comes and asks why she is sad. She doesn't tell him everything clearly, but Choi already knows the truth, so he comforts her with his words. Oh-sol even asks him whether he confessed to that girl. Choi says he didn't get the right timing. She tells him that you don't get the right time, you have to make it, and she also tells him to share his felling with that girl. Next morning, Oh-sol ignores Young. Later, she goes to him and says she wants to answer what he said yesterday. She says she also has no intention of dating him, especially someone as weird as him. Then she says now they are equal. Once she kissed him, and this time he kissed her. So neither of them owes anything to the other. Then she leaves. But Young becomes extremely bothered by her words. Everywhere he looks, he only sees her. Meanwhile, Oh-sol is on a call talking badly about Young. But Young overhears everything and gets upset thinking, how can she talk about me like this? Later, Songmin had a breakup. Odal brings him to lunch and tries to calm him down, but when he doesn't listen, he scolds him. While eating and talking, Songmin accidentally mentions that Oh-sol works at the cleaning company. Hearing this, Odal goes to meet her and tells her to quit this job, but Oh-sol convinces him and also stops him from telling Dad. On the other hand, Young talks to his doctor on the phone and tells him everything that happened today, and also says that he can't do anything properly. Choi asks him, do you like her? Young denies it immediately. Then Young asks why he is even asking this. Is it part of his treatment? Choi says no, he was just curious about what kind of person Young is. But he clearly says that his condition is related to his family. Meanwhile, Oh-sol looks at her medals and remembers how in one moment she lost both her mom and her sports life. Remembering her mom makes her emotional. Next, while she is leaving for the office, she sees Choi dressed up very neatly for a lecture. Oh Sol gets shocked seeing him in casual clothes and asks if he is going to confess to that girl today. He laughs and says no, he just has some work. In the next scene, when she reaches the office, she comes face to face with Jung. Jung apologizes for yesterday, but Oh Sol says they already cleared everything yesterday, so now there is no use. And she walks away. Jung gets even more stressed because of her words. After that, Jung tells his secretary about his friend's problem and asks what that friend should do. The secretary says he should tell that girl his feelings quickly, otherwise a third person will come between them. Meanwhile, Choi is giving a speech. Min-ju sees him and immediately calls Oh Sol there. After Oh Sol comes, she takes her inside. Oh Sol gets shocked seeing Choi as a doctor. Then Choi explains everything, how she always thought he was a useless guy, and how she misunderstood him before he could even say anything. He also says that it wasn't his fault. On the other hand, Jung is stressed because of the secretary's words. He keeps thinking how to tell Oh Sol his feelings. Then Dong-yun says Oh Sol went to attend a high school lecture with a friend. Jung rushes to the high school but gets a little late because Choi had already confessed his feelings to Oh Sol. She was shocked, but Min-ju happy for her friend. Jung also learns that Choi is actually his doctor, so he doesn't approach them, but from the car he secretly follows them. Min-ju keeps trying to push Oh Sol closer to Choi again and again, but Oh Sol still thinks he is just a useless guy and starts feeling embarrassed. Choi comforts her, saying he is still the same person, only his identity changed, not him. After that, both sit together, eat noodles, and talk a lot before heading home. Because of Choi's confession, Oh Sol can't sleep the whole night. Even in the morning she feels awkward around him, but Choi keeps joking with her just like before. Later, Jung meets Choi and directly asks what his real intention is. Choi reminds him that Jung was the one who searched for his background and contacted him first, so he should be the one answering that question. Then Choi asks another question. Does Jung like Oh Sol? Jung asks why he wants to know, and if he likes her too. Choi says yes, he likes her. He also says he knows Jung likes her too. That's why Jung will never hurt her. Jung gets totally confused by this. Next day, Oh Sol forgets her cleaning uniform at home. She calls everyone, but all say they're busy. With no other option left, she calls Choi to bring it. Jung doesn't like this at all and scolds her for no reason before walking away. Later, Oh Sol calls Choi to thank him and meets him at a cafe. While talking, Choi says he has liked her for a long time. Oh Sol gets confused and says, "How is that possible? You have only been staying at our house for a few days?" Choi doesn't tell her the real truth and says she doesn't need to know right now. Next day, when Jung comes to the office, he gets shocked seeing Oh Sol in a new getup. He asks why she came like this today. She says, "Secretary is not Will. So, they told me to become your secretary for one day." Then both of them come to the lift for the meeting. Jang was very happy. But suddenly, a mosquito comes inside the lift, and while trying to catch it, Oh Sol accidentally falls straight on top of Jang. Just then, the lift door opens, and all three people standing outside get shocked seeing them in this position. They're like, "Wasn't this our friend Oh Sol?" Later, while they are on their way to the meeting, Oh Sol's stomach starts growling, so Jang takes her to a restaurant to eat. But because there is too much crowd, he starts feeling very uncomfortable. Understanding this, she quietly tries to leave. Right after that, they get the update that the meeting location has been changed to the airport. Jang, who is scared of crowds, becomes nervous. So Oh Sol somehow tries to take him there, but then his condition gets worse and he sits down on the floor. Seeing this, Oh Sol quickly opens an umbrella and sits beside him. She tells him softly, "Don't panic. Now no one will come too close to you." Seeing her, Jang finally relaxes and even rests his head on her shoulder. From a distance, the secretary and grandpa see both of them like this. After the meeting, they're going home. Jang suddenly notices that her feet are hurting because of the high heels, so he buys her shoes and gifts them to her. Oh Sol thanks him. A little while later, they reach Oh Sol's house. Jang sees her sleeping and doesn't wake her up. He just waits quietly, but he doesn't even realize when he himself falls asleep while looking at her. After some time, Oh Sol wakes up and sees Jang sleeping. She softly says, "Maybe it's because of you that I don't want to quit this job. Am I starting to like you?" But the moment Jang wakes up, Oh Sol runs away without saying him hear anything. Her small moment of happiness doesn't last long, because when she reaches home, she gets bad news. Her dad has found out the truth. Oh Sol tries to explain everything, but her dad strictly tells her to quit the job. So next day she doesn't go to the office. Jang gets worried, wondering what suddenly happened. The secretary comes and says she's sick. Hearing this, Jang goes to her house to meet her. Oh Sol asks, "Why did you come here? Did you need something?" Jang tries to make up an excuse, But at that moment, her dad sees both of them talking. Jang politely tells him everything about himself. Her dad lets him inside, but says clearly, "My daughter will never go back to such a job." Which parent wants their child to do cleaning work? Listening to this, Jang calmly explains everything logically. Her dad can't even call him wrong. A little later, Oh-sol comes outside to see Jang off. And here, Jang indirectly stops her from quitting again. He tells her, "I need you. Please come back soon." Oh-sol gets shocked by his words. Next day, her dad comes and asks her to get ready for the job. Oh-sol wonders, is this a dream? But after hitting her head, she realizes it's true. Her dad has agreed. She gets ready and comes out. Her dad praises Jang a lot and tells her to work properly. Meanwhile, Yang also finds out that Oh-sol is returning to the company, and he becomes very happy. Before going to the office, she meets Choi too and indirectly rejects him. But Choi is mature, so he decides to stay just friends. When Oh-sol arrives at the office, everyone surprises her. Jang also comes and welcomes her warmly. After work, they all go together for barbecue. Jang secretly watches them from far away. But when Jaemin gets a little too close to Oh-sol, Yang loses control, covers himself with a jacket, and goes to sit between them, even though the smell there makes him feel like vomiting. Because of the boss, everyone becomes uncomfortable and quickly finishes the food and leaves. In the end, only the two of them remain. Jang tells her to come with him, but because the car wasn't parked properly, the police tow it away. Now both of them are in trouble because Jang can't handle the crowd in the bus, and he can't sit in a taxi that's already been used by others. So they have to walk. After walking for a while, they stop at a very pretty spot and sit, talking peacefully. At the end, Oh-sol wants to thank him for convincing her dad, so she makes chocolates herself and gives them to him. She thought he would refuse, but he takes them immediately. At home, he nervously tastes them and actually likes the taste a lot. Next day, a cleaning team comes to the company. Oh-sol is doing her work when suddenly one employee sends her outside for some task and then secretly steals important office papers. A little later, unaware of this, Oh-sol returns and continues cleaning. But then the manager comes and starts shouting at all of them. "Oh-sol!" Oh-sol apologizes, but the manager gets even angrier and scolds her more. A little later, Jang finds out the whole situation, so he rushes to the company, but the manager isn't in the mood to listen to anyone. After handling the case, he speaks, and Yang says, "I have complete trust in my employees, so let's check the CCTV footage once." In the next scene, everyone watches the CCTV footage, but the employee had already tampered with it and edited that part, so now only Oh-sol is visible. And Yang can do nothing, no matter how much he wants to. After that, the secretary tries to explain to Yang, "For now, we should fire her. Otherwise, one mistake could destroy all the hard work we've done for the business in a moment." But Yang clearly says, "No, there's no need to fire her. I'll find another solution." Oh-sol overhears this conversation. Next day, she comes to the office to resign. Jang stops her from doing it, but she leaves quietly without saying anything. The secretary also calls Grandpa and says, "I did exactly as you said." Oh-sol leaves the office strong, but as soon as she steps outside, she breaks down crying. Choi comes and comforts her. Meanwhile, her dad is washing his car, but local goons don't let him do it easily. Ming-ju was passing by and seeing all this, she called Odal. He tries to explain it to them, but they even threaten to remove him from sports. After that, when Oh-sol finds out about this, she runs straight to the police station. Her dad is pleading with them to drop the case, but they refuse. In the next scene, Jang is missing Oh-sol a lot. He remembers everything he did for her. Later, feeling sad, he comes home and is shocked to see Oh-sol there. She says, "From today, I will work as a maid in your house." Yang is confused hearing this. The story then rewinds, showing how all this happened. The secretary had asked her to take the job, but Oh-sol refused. Seeing this, the secretary gives her a contract which said, if Oh-sol helps Jang fix things, then in return, the secretary will help her get the case against Odal dropped. Oh-sol agrees to protect her brother's career. Then, lying to everyone, she comes back under the pretense of a business trip. Back in the present, Yang tells her to go home for now, saying, "I need some time to think," but she refuses and goes into her room. Jang calls the secretary asking, "What's going on?" She replies, "Even the previous maid quit, and I haven't found anyone better than Oh-sol for the job." Jang says, but by then the call is already cut off. Later, he calls Oh-sol outside to talk and asks, "How have you been all this time?" Before she can answer, Jang's mom arrives. Seeing Oh-sol, she gets angry and asks, "What are you doing at my son's house?" Oh-sol explains, "I came to work as a maid," but his mom doesn't listen and tells her to leave. Oh-sol refuses. Mom says, "Then fine, I'll stay here too." Jang asks both of them to leave, but neither is ready, so he leaves himself. Since mom was worried about him, Oh-sol tries to feed her a little while talking. Meanwhile, the secretary calls and says, "Don't worry, Jang is at the company." Mom wants to go meet him, but she says, "Not now. If they see you at the company, where they might go him this time. Oh, Sol also learns this, so she comes to the office to meet him and requests to go home. She also tells him, "Your mom has been worried about you all day. She hasn't eaten anything." Jang asks, "And you?" She says, "Yes, I was worried about you too." Hearing this, Jang feels happy. When they return home, Jang tells his mom to stay for the night. His mom can't believe her son is asking her to stay. At night, Jang can't sleep, thinking about whether Sol fell asleep on the sofa. He goes to check, but mom also comes out to drink water. Seeing her, Jang lies down on top of Sol. Sol is shocked to see him, but Jang tells her to stay quiet. In this way, they get very close. After mom leaves, Jang goes to his room. Next scene, Jang leaves for the office. Meanwhile, Sol starts exploring the house and sits down to work. Then her dad calls on video. She quickly goes aside to talk to dad and Choi. But Choi starts doubting her, thinking Sol went somewhere lying. A little later, Jang comes home and he is shocked when he sees the house because Sol had completely messed it up. At first, he doesn't say anything, but after suggesting, he starts cleaning everything himself. Sol secretly watches him and remembers what the secretary had said. She was the one who told her to do all this. Next day, Jang gifts her a pair of slippers and also keeps all the things she needs at home. Sol feels very happy seeing this. Meanwhile, Jang accidentally finds her diary. He starts reading it and discovers all the feelings she had written about her heart. The next day, Jang thinks about proposing and comes home with a flower bouquet. But before he can propose, Sol tells him, "I'm here just to work. Don't misunderstand me." Hearing this, Jang's heart breaks. Sol didn't want this either. Then we learn that today, she had met Jang's grandpa. He had convinced her not to date Jang, saying if she agreed, he would help get Odol's case resolved. For her brother's career was more important than her own feelings. The next day, they both try to avoid each other, but Jang comes from behind, pushes her gently, and says, "You said you don't love me, so from today, I will make you love me no matter what I have to do." Sol is shocked by this new side of Jang. He even makes breakfast for her and helps her with cleaning. But Sol starts feeling disturbed by all his actions. After that, she shares all this with Mingju, gifts him wine, and asks him to drink it together. Meanwhile, Choi meets the secretary to find out where Sol really is. The secretary tells him the truth. Then Choi goes directly to Jang's house. Jang is not happy to see him and asks him to leave, but he refuses. At that moment, Sol comes. Jang tells her to go for a little walk outside, but Choi pulls her inside. Sol is shocked seeing this and misunderstands the situation, thinking something is wrong. Jang quickly explains, "This is my doctor." Choi says, "I'll stay here for your treatment." Next day, Jang sees him sleeping on the sofa and gets angry. Then he goes to his grandpa and scolds him, "Why did you send a doctor to my house? Why do you always do as you please?" But Grandpa doesn't seem affected. Instead, he scolds Jang back and tells him to leave. Meanwhile, Jang's mom meets Sol, and she tells her to convince Jang to go on a blind date. Sol can't refuse, even if she wants to. Later at home, she talks to Jang about it. He refuses and asks, "Do you want me to go meet her?" She nods and leaves. Jang feels hurt by her words. Later, she comes to drop off Choi and asks if he heard their conversation. He confirms and asks, "Are you happy doing all this?" Sol says yes, and Choi says, "Then fine, I'll help you." Next, Jang goes to a party and clearly rejects the blind date, saying, "I like someone else, and I'll like only her until the end, so I cannot marry you." They are talking when a reporter secretly takes their photo and publishes it, writing that they are dating and will marry soon. Sol feels very sad reading this news. Then, Choi takes her shopping to cheer her up. There's a sale, so they shop excitedly and enjoy themselves. On the way back, Jang sees them and feels sad. But he doesn't give up and tries to act normal in front of Sol. Still, he can't fully hide his feelings. He also tries to talk about the article, but Choi keeps interrupting. But finally, he explains everything to her. Sol says, "But I don't like you." Jang replies, "I don't care. All I know is that I like you a lot." Sol can't say anything and leaves. Next scene, Choi is giving Jang treatment, but Jang asks about Sol. Choi explains he sent her outside because it's uncomfortable to tell the truth in front of someone you like. Jang says, "I told you clearly before. I won't let you treat me. If you are doing all this for Sol, it will never work. Are you afraid I might take her from you? I heard your conversation with her that day." Choi says she rejected him then. Hearing this, Jang is overjoyed. Thinking of Sol, his cheeks turn red. By now, Sol has returned, and Choi leaves. Both look for excuses to see each other. Suddenly, Jang, without realizing, drinks the wine Choi left, thinking it was water. Sol watches as he drinks it all. He gets drunk and starts acting cute. Sol somehow takes him to the room, but they both fall on the bed together. Seeing Yang sleeping, Sol confesses her feelings. "Forgive me. I cannot accept your love." Then Yang wakes up. Sol panics and withdraws her hand, but Yang grabs it and says, "Then you must know how I feel now." He moves to kiss her, but Sol runs to her room thinking, "What have I done?" The next morning, Oh-sol sneaks out of the house, but Jang was hiding nearby. Seeing him, Oh-sol tries to run again, but Jang grabs her hand and says, "I'm really hungry. Come on." Oh-sol makes him breakfast. Afterward, Jang asks her directly if she will date him. Oh-sol is shocked and says no, that nothing like that is happening, and maybe last night he was too drunk. Jang holds her hand and places it on his face, saying, "No, I wasn't drunk. I remember clearly. You said you feel the same way for me." Oh-sol tries to refuse and walk away, but almost trips on something. Jang catches her, bringing her close, and says, "If there's any problem, you can tell me. I'll help you." But Oh-sol shakes her head, saying no, and goes back to her room. Next scene, Jang comes to the aquarium for cleaning. 3 of them are also there, cleaning. While talking to his mom, Jang remembers how much Oh-sol loves this place. He calls her over under the pretense of giving her some files. Oh-sol comes with the files, but Jang stops her and asks her to stay a little longer. He had sent the others away, but then Youngmin accidentally spills something in the kitchen, and the 3 return. Jang and Oh-sol quickly hide. Dongmin notices them together but says nothing. Jongmin suspects something and thinks he saw Oh-sol with another man, but he can't get close enough to be sure. Before he could question them, a guard arrives and tells everyone to leave. Jang is holding Oh-sol's hand, but she lets go and smiles at the fish. Jang asks her again to give him a chance to date her, promising he can solve everything. Oh-sol stays silent. The next day, Oh-sol comes to meet the 3 of them, but Dongmin's grandma is critically ill, so everyone rushes to the hospital. Jang finds out and arrives first, paying the bills for the surgery. The operation is successful. Dongmin tells Oh-sol, "I was framed and sent to jail, but my boss helped me. He also kept paying for my grandma's treatment. He's a very good person." Oh-sol feels guilty because she had misunderstood him earlier. Later, they all return home together. Jang's mom had already put up pictures of girls in the house, asking Jang to choose one for dating. But Jang refuses and tells his mom he loves Oh-sol. His mom gets angry at Oh-sol and forces her to lie, saying, "I don't like him. He has a crush on me." Jang is shocked by this lie. Next day, his mom calls Oh-sol outside, asking, "Why don't you like my son? He's handsome, rich, and has a clean background." Oh-sol explains, "There is a huge difference in our status. I can't cross it, nor erase it." His mom guesses it's probably because of her father. She returns home angry at father, saying, "You ruined my life. I won't let this happen with my son." Then she consults the doctor about Yang's treatment. The doctor explains the shock treatment method. That night, Jang's mom calls Oh-sol to come to her house. Oh-sol asks why, but she doesn't explain. Meanwhile, Min-ju is collecting proof for Odol's case, but gets pushed out everywhere. Odol sees this and wants to hit the man responsible. Min-ju stops her and says, "All this is happening because of me. If I hadn't called you that day, none of this would have happened." She hugs him, crying. Odol says, "Please stop crying. This is not your fault." On the other hand, Grandpa calls the secretary, asking for all information about Oh-sol. They discover that Oh-sol's mother died in that incident, and her family is a victim family. Meanwhile, Jang keeps calling Oh-sol to help her, but she doesn't pick up because Jang's mom instructed her not to. Jang arrives home and is shocked by the scene. Even his health starts deteriorating, yet he keeps calling Oh-sol for help. Everything was planned by his mom to help him recover quickly. Meanwhile, Choi asks Oh-sol to talk to him about something urgent. She listens, and hearing Jang's faint voice, rushes to him with Choi. When they enter the house, they are shocked by what they see. Oh-sol quickly turns off the music and tells everyone to leave. She looks toward the bathroom and sees Jang unconscious on the floor. She runs to him, calling his name. Jang opens his eyes, sees her, says, "You came," and then faints again. Next scene, Oh-sol sits beside him, caring for him. She apologizes, "Forgive me. All this happened because of me. I wouldn't have let this happen to you if I hadn't been there." Choi also gets upset seeing them together and walks away. The next morning, Jang wakes up and frantically starts searching for Oh-sol. She comes out and says, "You're awake." Without a word, Jang hugs her tightly and says, "Don't ever leave me alone like that again. You have no idea how worried I was. I thought something bad had happened to you. Please, don't leave me. I can't live without you." Tears fill his eyes as he speaks. This time, Oh-sol truly understands his feelings and says, "No, I will never leave you again." Hearing this, Jang kisses her, saying, "Now that you've promised, you can't run away." Oh-sol nods yes, and they share a long, romantic kiss. Next scene, Jang doesn't let her go even for a moment. Even while he takes a shower, Oh-sol sits outside talking to him. Later, they eat together. Jang burns his mouth while eating. Oh-sol goes to get cold water from the fridge, but Jang pulls her into his lap, saying, "You promised not to leave me. Remember?" He tries to kiss her again, but the machine beeps, disturbing them. Next, Oh-Sol heads to meet her mom. Jang asks her to come along, but she refuses, knowing his presence might create problems. Jang insists, and she finally lets him go with her. On the way, an accident happens, so Oh-Sol thinks of leaving the car and taking a taxi. Jang sanitizes the taxi carefully before entering and holds her hand as they sit. On the way, their hands accidentally touch, and Yang faints. They have to get off the car and then take a bus. Inside the bus, Yang holds Oh-Sol tightly, but many ladies get on, and he panics. They get off again. Oh-Sol gets a little angry, saying, "This is why I told you not to come." But in the next moment, she starts enjoying being with him. Later, they meet her mom. Jang introduces himself as her boyfriend. After Jang leaves, Oh-Sol talks to her mom about him. They sit together, enjoy the sunset, but Oh-Sol feels conflicted. The next morning, she meets the secretary and says she wants to resign. She explains, "I promised Jang's grandpa that I would never date him, but I couldn't keep it. I'll find another way." The secretary is shocked. Chairman made this condition? I can't believe it. Oh-Sol starts packing her things. Jang comes in and asks why she's leaving. She says she has something to solve but assures him nothing between them has changed. At home, her dad and Jang ask many questions, and Oh-Sol manages to answer them. Grandpa also finds out and warns her that she's creating more problems. The secretary asks him if he really wants this, and he says yes. Oh-Sol goes to meet the coach for her brother, asking for help. The coach says he has done everything possible and can't help further. Oh-Sol becomes emotional and requests help from everyone, but no one wants to get involved. Sung informs Yang about the situation, and he comes to help with 3 other guys. Seeing the 3 handsome boys, Oh-Sol gets emotional and thanks them. Jamin happily hugs her, but Jang, feeling jealous, grabs his hair gently to stop him. They argue, but Dong takes them aside. Oh-Sol hugs Jang and says, "Hugging you feels so good." Jang warns, "Don't do it. Someone might see," but she doesn't let go. This time, Jang hugs her back, asking her to share everything with him. Seeing their love, the secretary helps by giving the CCTV footage secretly. On their way home, Choi calls to say he found proof of Odol's innocence. Both Jang and Oh-Sol are happy. At home, her dad is shocked to see them together. They explain their dating status. At first, he's shocked, but later accepts it. During dinner, seeing everyone together makes Jang uncomfortable, but he tries for Oh-Sol's sake. Oh-Sol and Choi help him through it. The next day, Odol is walking with Sung. Odol sees Min-ju with another boy and becomes angry. He pulls her outside and asks, "What are you doing?" Odol confesses, "From today, you're only mine. Wait until I win the gold medal, and then I'll give you your flat and everything else." Min-ju is shocked but happy. The next day, they tell everyone one by one about their relationship. Everyone is both happy and shocked. They go on a park date. Jang feels uncomfortable, so Oh-Sol suggests going home for dinner. At home, Jang cooks. They eat together and watch a movie. During the movie, the kissing scene makes both uncomfortable. Oh-Sol tries to leave, but Jang holds her hand and asks her to stay a little longer. Because of the romantic movie scenes, Oh-Sol panics and tries to run out, but Jang stops her. Then, Oh-Sol tells Jang that she wants to stay with him. Jang is shocked, but he can't find the courage, so Oh-Sol leans in and kisses him. Jang lifts her into his arms and carries her inside. He sits her down and continues kissing her, and they spend the night together. The next morning, they are happily having breakfast when Oh-Sol suddenly gets a call from her dad. Seeing her dad angry, she quickly lies, "Last night I was with Min-ju." Dad calls to confirm, and she nods yes. Later, they go for a walk in the park. Jang suddenly remembers the little girl from his dream. He tells Oh-Sol about it. Oh-Sol laughs, "That was you, the white pressured boy." They both reminisce about their childhood and feel embarrassed. The next morning, Oh-Sol cleans the house, and everyone, especially her dad and the others, is shocked. Her dad jokingly asks if someone has put a spell on his daughter. Later, she talks to Choi, but seeing some bills, she asks, "Why did you go there? My mom is right here." Choi avoids the topic, saying, "Your dad knows." At night, she calls Jang, asking him to meet her mom. At first, he refuses, but after Oh-Sol explains, he agrees. The next day, Jang meets her mom. She is delighted to see him and talks to him warmly. The following day, Yang speaks with Choi, asking him to speed up his treatment. "I want to get better quickly for Oh-Sol. Being different from others hurts. I want to walk in the park with her, protect her, and live normally." Choi says, "Then let's start now." He takes Jang to a forest. Jang feels uncomfortable being outside like that, so he asks to go home. Choi asks if he really wants to get better. Jang remains silent. That night, Oh-Sol comes to have a drink with her dad. She asks about meeting her mom. Her dad laughs, saying it's been a long time since he met her mom. Oh-Sol realizes that every year he used to leave flowers and yogurt. Meanwhile, the secretary informs Oh-Sol about leaving her job. Grandpa still wants to destroy her family, but the secretary refuses to work with him anymore. Grandpa says, "You didn't tell me that her mom was a victim in that incident." Security staff is shocked. Grandpa says, "Whatever needs to be done, I'll do it myself." Next, Oh-Sol is seen focusing on her studies. Jang messages her to come outside. She comes and finds a cute surprise waiting for her. Oh-Sol feels happy and thanks him. Jang kisses her. The next day, Choi meets the secretary, who tells him everything. Choi goes to Grandpa's house and warns him, "Stay away from her family, or it won't end well for you." Grandpa asks, "How do you know all this? Was your family also a victim?" Choi denies it, saying, "No, I am the one who did this for money before. I was like a thug." Meanwhile, Odal is suspended for a year and cannot play Tayo again. On leaving, he overhears two men talking that his sister will have to face the consequences of dating the AG Group chairman's grandson. Odal gets angry, but his dad stops him and brings him home. After that, Oh-Sol happily asks her dad if the case is solved. Her dad confirms. She realizes that the boy she dated was Jang, the chairman's grandson. She is shocked to learn that her mom's death was caused by those people. Overwhelmed, Oh-Sol comes and tells Jang they need to break up. Jang had been planning to propose that day. He is shocked, thinking everything was fine until morning. What suddenly happened? Without saying anything, Oh-Sol leaves, crying heavily. Days pass. She stays locked in her room. Jang keeps calling and messaging, but she cuts every call. Finally, Jang comes to her house. Her dad sees him and angrily forbids him from coming again. Later, Choi explains to Jang that Oh-Sol is going through a very hard time and needs a few days alone. She will talk to you after handling everything herself, he says. Jang reflects that even her dad never spoke to him that way before. He feels as if everyone is angry at him, though he doesn't know why. Then, he sees Oh-Sol and calls out to her. She ignores him and starts walking away. Jang pleads, "Please, wait, I need to talk to you." Choi intervenes and asks them to sit and talk. Jang asks Oh-Sol the reason for the breakup. Oh-Sol says, "Spending time with you is very difficult. You are different from everyone else. I need a little break." Jang asks, "If there's a problem, tell me, but don't leave me." Oh-Sol ignores him and tries to leave. Jang stops her, saying, "I know you love me as much as I love you. Then why this breakup?" She frees her hand and says, "Don't contact me again." She leaves. Later, when Jang comes back, seeing Odal, Jang asks, "What's the matter? Why are you here?" Odal says, "I need to meet your grandpa. I went there, but they didn't let me in. If you talk to them, they'll allow me." Jang asks, "What is this about?" Odal angrily explains everything. Jang storms to Grandpa's car and shouts, "You only brought me back to AG Group by playing such a dirty game with Oh-Sol's family. I should have known people like you can never do anything good for anyone. But one thing is clear, I will never come back." Grandpa says, "You two can never be together. Let me handle things my way." Jang starts to leave, but Grandpa adds, "Do you even know? 6 years ago, in that incident, her mom was a victim too." Jang is shocked. He remembers going there to apologize on Grandpa's behalf, only to hear so many harsh words. He cries remembering it all. The next day, Jang silently follows Oh-Sol wherever she goes without confronting her. He does this every day. One day, Oh-Sol notices him hiding behind a tree but says nothing. Jang can't understand these situations. He falls into depression and starts cleaning even more intensely, injuring his hands and bleeding. When his mother learns this, she meets Oh-Sol and asks her to let Jang back into her life. Oh-Sol refuses. Meanwhile, Choi keeps coming to Jang's house. But Jang doesn't speak to him directly and refuses treatment, saying, "Then who am I supposed to heal this illness for?" Choi insists, giving him medicine for his hands, saying, "It's my duty now to make you better." The next day, while Jang is working, Grandpa comes to see him. Jang asks him to leave, but Grandpa says, "Do you think you built this business alone? Let me tell you the truth. All the shareholders in your company are from AG Group. I asked them to invest. Otherwise, who would waste money on such a poor company? If you don't agree, I won't let it run. Think carefully." After Grandpa leaves, Jang asks the secretary about this. She tells him everything and apologizes for hiding the truth. Jang, furious, tells her to leave. Jang remembers everything clearly, feeling hurt and angry. While driving carefully, he accidentally has an accident. Oh-Sol finds out and wants to leave, but Choi tells her it's no one's fault. He had no idea about all this. He was also a victim of his grandpa. Oh-Sol rushes to him, but Grandpa tries to stop her from entering. This time, Oh-Sol refuses to listen and confidently answers him, "I will face you now." This accident should not have happened to him. How can you be such a fallen person? Grandpa is surprised, realizing this is the same innocent Oh-Sol. Oh-Sol meets Jang in the hospital. He is in a coma. Oh-Sol cries heavily and apologizes for everything. Next, Jang is shown sleeping at home. Oh-Sol comes, kisses him gently, and wakes him. "How long will you sleep like this? Get up now." Jang wakes from the coma and insists on going to her, but calms down when he sees the secretary. He finds out Grandpa has taken over the company. Jang refuses to meet the secretary again, saying, "You're no longer the person I knew." As soon as she leaves, Jang's mother comes and says, "Don't misunderstand, Oh-Sol. I don't know if I should tell you this, but she used to come here every day. She would sit and talk to you, care for you. Today, she will come too. It's her time." Jang is overjoyed and waits impatiently. Meanwhile, Oh-sol leaves the house and overhears a conversation between Choi and her dad. Her dad says, "I heard he regained consciousness. I know my daughter goes to meet him, but it won't help. They two can never be together." Oh-sol decides not to meet him. Days pass. Jang recovers fully and goes straight from the hospital to meet Grandpa. He says, "What did you think? That I would obey all your words?" Grandpa says, "You have no choice. Now the company is under me. Leave the girl and come to AG Group." Jang responds, "I knew you would ask me to choose between the two. If I choose Oh-sol, you won't let her family live peacefully. I will choose no one. But I have only one request. Go and sincerely apologize to them. You'll feel a little peace for the harm you've done." Jang later gathers all the proof against Grandpa and hands it over to the police. Maybe your help could work, he thought. After that, as he was leaving, he sees Oh-sol and stops. Both are surprised to see each other. They sit and talk for a while, but there's now a big distance between them. Oh-sol wants to say a proper goodbye. Jang disagrees, saying, "Thank you for coming into my life. Because of you, I realized how important life really is." Both cry and say a final goodbye, walking their separate ways. Next, Jang collects all his things from the company and thanks the 3 friends who helped him so far. He also meets Choi. The next day, he leaves for America, but memories of all the romantic moments with Oh-sol keep flooding back. Choi gives Oh-sol a necklace from Jang and says, "Don't you want to meet him once before he leaves?" Oh-sol refuses. Later, Grandpa comes and sincerely apologizes to Oh-sol's whole family. "I cannot change anything now. Still, please forgive my mistakes." Oh-sol goes to her room, sad. Then she sees Jang's gift and rushes to the airport. They pass each other, but cannot meet. Oh-sol feels very sad that she couldn't see him one last time. Meanwhile, Grandpa apologizes to all the victim families publicly. "If I hadn't ordered it back then, none of this would have happened." He closes Odol's case and can now return to his usual games. 2 years pass. Oh-sol has a good job now, but she still remembers Jang sometimes. Jang fully recovers and returns to Korea. He no longer has his cleaning obsession. He calls his mom to give her the news. Oh-sol is heading out after talking to her dad when she almost trips, but Jang catches her. Oh-sol is shocked to see him. They have coffee and talk. Oh-sol is very happy seeing Jang fully recovered. Jang apologizes for everything, and Oh-sol tells him to forget the past. As she starts to leave, Jang stops her, asking her to go on a date again. Oh-sol walks away without saying anything. Choi learns about Jang's return. Jang meets his mom and accepts Mr. Kim's relationship. His mom is very happy seeing him. He also meets the secretary. Finally, he meets Grandpa, who is changed and is very sick. Grandpa donates all his property to charity. Jang forgives him, and Grandpa is very happy to see him again. Jang starts planning to date Oh-sol again. He even starts his cleaning business. One evening, Oh-sol comes for dinner. She tries to reject him, but Jang notices the pendant she's wearing. He stops her and says, "I missed you so much. I never thought I'd stand in front of you again. I'll wait for you until you come to me." Oh-sol is speechless. Next day, Odol's competition takes place. Min-ju, who came to cheer, sees Odol win. Dad is very happy. Jang helps Odol and sincerely apologizes. Dad, however, gets angry seeing him. The next day, Jang waits outside Oh-sol's house. Oh-sol comes down for an emergency and sees him. She goes with him to the hospital because of an accident in her street. Her dad arrives, thanks them, and invites them for a drink. They all drink together. After that, Jang talks about all the suffering he endured during his recovery. He asks Oh-sol, "Can you smile for me once?" He rests his head on her shoulder and sleeps. Oh-sol holds his face, praising him for all his hard work. She says she cannot come to him while hurting her dad and Odol, and asks for forgiveness. Next day, Choi comes to see Jang. Jang thanks him for taking care of his house all this time and calling every day. Choi jokingly hugs him American style. The next day, Oh-sol comes to call him. Seeing the house empty, she realizes Choi is gone. Jang then calls everyone together to officially reopen the cleaning company. Jamin has become an actor now, but everyone agrees to help Jang again. Even the secretary joins and asks, "Can I join now?" Everyone drinks together and starts working the next day. Jang helps her dad with work. Dad joins him for dinner and says, "My daughter is my pride. I never had to teach her right or wrong. She learned everything herself. She is my heart. Never hurt her." Next day, Dad comes to meet Mom with both children. He says Oh-sol deserves happiness after all she's been through. He gives Jang permission to date Oh-sol. Oh-sol, hearing this, rushes to hug Jang before he can say anything. They go on a date, kiss, and her eyes fill with tears. Jang is extremely happy to have Oh-sol back. They kiss again, fully reunited. Next scene, Jang's company starts again. Everyone takes a group photo together. And with this heartwarming scene, our cute drama ends.